This is an AI reading another AI's trading code, hunting for the conditions where it loses money. In a few minutes, it rewrites its own strategy to exploit them, and the other AI does the same thing back. Here's the experiment. Two agents, OpenAI's Codex and Anthropic's Claude code, each build a trading bot blind from the same prompt. We run both on a live 1-minute TradingView chart to generate battle data. Then they exchange source code and reports, tear each other apart, rewrite, and fight again. Two static scripts on a chart isn't a battle. The rewrite loop is. Every step you're about to see is in the free guide linked below, with exact paste here labels so you can run this war yourself tonight. Let's build. Setup: 4 minutes. You need Node from nodejs.org, a free TradingView account, and accounts with OpenAI and Anthropic. Verify Node with node -- version. Then build the arena. 1 parent folder, 3 inside it: Codex bot, Claude bot, and reports. The folder isolation is a rule of the war. These aren't chatbots in a browser tab. They're full terminal agents that can read files, write files, and fix their own mistakes. And the working directory is each agent's entire world. Each one works only inside its own folder. And in round 1, neither knows the other exists, which keeps the first build an honest blind test of raw generation. 2 global installs, then 2 separate terminal windows. Window 1, cd into Codex-bot and type Codex. Window 2, cd into Claude-bot and type Claude. Each walks you through login on first run. Follow the on-screen link. Approve, done. From here on, these 2 windows are the agent chats. Everything we say to the AIs gets pasted straight into them, and everything they build lands as real files in their folders. Keep both visible, side by side, for the whole war. Both agents get this identical brief, word for word. Requirement 1 forces strategy, not indicator. An indicator just draws lines. A strategy simulates entries, exits, and a P&L we can score. Requirement 3 means hard stops on every trade, no naked positions on a 1-minute chart. Requirement 4 sizes positions as a percentage of equity, so risk scales with the balance instead of betting fixed amounts. Requirement 5 demands visual plots, entry markers, and live stop levels on the chart, because the whole battle depends on seeing signals fire. Requirement 7 forces comments on every block, which is how we judge code quality at the end. And Requirement 6 is the first real test. It has to compile with 0 errors because Pine version 5 syntax is picky, and language models love to hallucinate functions that don't exist. The last line, output only the code, stops either agent from padding the answer with paragraphs nobody asked for. Codex builds a scalper, and the signal engine is 3 lines, a 7-period RSI, half the default 14, so signals fire sooner at the cost of more noise. A momentum burst filter demanding a 0.1% push inside 3 candles. On a 1-minute chart, that's the difference between catching a move and catching noise. And the entry, RSI, crossing up out of oversold while the burst confirms, aggressive by design. Now the exit block, because this is the part most AI-generated strategies get wrong. Strategy.exit attaches a hard bracket to the position. Stop is the stop-loss price. Limit is the take profit, both computed from the ATR at entry. So the bracket widens in violent conditions and tightens in quiet ones instead of using a fixed dollar amount that's wrong half the time. 1 unit of risk against 1.5 of reward, 5% of equity per trade, and commission and slippage baked into the strategy header so the test is honest by default. And the visual layer we demanded, triangles under the bar on entries and a broken red line tracing the live stop whenever a position is open. That stop line uses a ternary, so it only draws while a trade is on. The chart stays clean between signals. Small detail, but it separates usable code from demoware. This bot is built to fire dozens of times a session. Claude code goes the opposite direction, and it writes its plan as a comment block before any logic. Trend filter, entry rules, risk model, sketched in plain English at the top of the file, then implemented in order. The engine is a 21 and 55 EMA stack that only trades with the trend, entering when price pulls back to the fast EMA and reclaims it. Far fewer signals than the scalper, but each one arrives with the trend at its back. The risk model is where the philosophy shows, stops at 2 times ATR, double the scalper's width, targets at 2 to 1, and position size cut to 3% of equity instead of 5 because wider stops mean bigger losses per trade unless you size down. That's textbook risk math, done unprompted, same commission and slippage in the header, so the fight is fair by construction. Two opposite philosophies from one identical prompt, and that contrast is exactly what round 2 weaponizes. Into TradingView. Open any chart, click the Pine Editor tab at the bottom of the screen, paste each agent's script completely unedited, and hit Save. This is the rule that keeps the test honest. We never fix code ourselves. If the editor throws an error, the exact error line goes back to the agent that wrote it with one instruction: fix it, output only the corrected full script, and every round trip is a strike logged in the compile log. Typical failures are hallucinated function names and version mismatches, and you'll see the error text on screen exactly as the editor printed it. Whatever happens right now happened once, unscripted. Once both compile, click Add to chart on each, then set the time frame to 1 minute on a liquid symbol. Both strategies now plot on the same candles with identical costs. The arena is live. Session 1 runs live for 15+ minutes to print enough trades to mean anything. We compress time between signals, and every trade you see happened in order. Watch the two personalities express themselves. The scalper fires early and often with tight brackets, in and out within a handful of candles, while the trend rider sits through long stretches of silence and then commits wide. Trade frequency is the fingerprint of each build. Count the entry arrows per side, and you can already guess the shape of the reports. And watch what costs do. With commission and slippage active, every tight take profit pays a toll on the way out, which is exactly why most 1-minute scalping strategies die in the real world. The winner of this session is irrelevant. The data is the product. When it ends, open the strategy tester at the bottom, select a strategy, go to List of Trades, hit the export icon, and save both CSVs into the Reports folder as round-1-Codex and round-1-Claude. Those two files are the ammunition for what comes next. The exchange. 4 copy commands. Each agent's strategy file lands in the enemy's folder renamed opponent.pine, and both session reports go to both sides. Full information, both directions. Each agent can now see exactly what it's up against and exactly how the first fight went in raw trade list detail. Then each agent gets the counterattack order. 3 jobs in 1 prompt. Code review. Read the enemy's script and name one specific structural weakness, not a vague vibe. For the trend rider, that might be the entries it's late to. For the scalper, the market state that turns tight brackets into a fee machine. Self-diagnosis. Face its own trade list and admit what went wrong. Synthesis. A rewrite that patches its own hole and targets the exact conditions where the opponent bleeds. Every change tagged with a changed comment and a reason. That comment trail is a paper record of how each AI attacks the other, and it's the best output of the entire experiment. What streams next is 2 AIs, performing an autopsy on each other's trading logic, live. I'm not talking over it. Pause and read their analysis on screen. Their words beat anything I could script. The rewrites follow a pattern. Each side steals the enemy's edge. Expect the scalper to gain a regime filter, logic that tells it when not to trade, because knowing when to sit out is the trend rider's whole advantage. The rematch runs exactly like session 1. Export the results as round 2 files. Don't eyeball the results, score them. The referee script in the guide reads all 4 exported trade lists and prints 5 numbers per session: trades taken, win rate, profit factor, net profit, and max drawdown. 2 of those need defining. Profit factor is gross wins divided by gross losses. Above 1 means the strategy made money. Above 1.5 means it made money with room for worse conditions. Max drawdown is the deepest hole the equity dug from its peak, the number that decides whether a strategy is survivable or just lucky. Ask either agent to save the script as referee-.-py in the arena folder, run 1 command, and the whole war fits on a single screen. The numbers on your screen are the final word, and the comparison that matters most isn't Codex versus Claude. It's version 1 versus version 2 for each agent. If both improved after reading enemy code, adversarial iteration works. AI agents that study an opponent get better, fast, without a human touching the logic. If one got worse, it misread the enemy, or itself. Equally worth knowing, read the max drawdown column twice, because drawdown decides whether a strategy is tradable or just lucky, and remember the scope. One session, one symbol, one time frame. A battle, not the war. Then score the agents themselves on 3 things you watched happen. Compile strikes across both versions, straight from the log. Autopsy sharpness, a named structural flaw beats a book report, and rewrite precision, tagged, reasoned, minimal collateral damage to working code. The real product of this experiment isn't a trading strategy, it's knowing which agent you'd trust to iterate with at 2 in the morning. The full guide with every command, both prompts, both reference scripts, and the referee is free in the Discord. Link below, with paste here labels on every block, so run your own war, and post your referee output in the server. Everything here is educational only, not financial advice. 1-minute scalping is where accounts go to die if you don't respect risk. Subscribe, the war has rounds left.